Oh, get bonked there, Kirby. Hey everyone, my name is Masterstarman, and welcome back for more Let's Play Kirby's Adventure in the Kirby's Dream Collection, well, collection. Last time, well, we found out that all our dreams were basically being stolen and some weird stuff was going on with the Star Rods, so let's go on and kind of carry on with that there. So yeah, we're venturing off into World 2 here today. Let's take this ability here, which is Parasol. Might be nice against these raining coconuts here. And yeah. God, man, I love the detail in the backgrounds here. This is a bomber here. That guy gives Crash the same as the Poppy we fought in the last video there, the Poppy Bros Senior. For the most part, I'd say Ice Cream Islands is not that much different from how the Vegetable Valley was there. It's pretty similar, but just a little bit more involved in the sense that there's an extra level here. This is kind of where every world in the game will start kind of adding more levels to it. Every world from here on out after this is going to have 6 levels here, but this world only has 5. Here's another new minigame. I didn't really talk about this one here. This is Egg Catcher. I have not played this in a while, but dang. Yeah, I have not played Egg Catcher in a while there. If you do well in that, you can get some 1-ups out of that as well, but it's not too bad otherwise. Sorry, I should stop trying to drink my water during the middle of the recordings here. Kind of didn't talk about... there's a lot of abilities I haven't really talked about here, including this one here, which is Needle. I haven't really talked about this one too much. A lot of abilities are kind of similar in a way, like this, Spark, and Freeze are all kind of similar in most ways there. I think in this, I'm gonna take... I know what mini-boss is coming up here. I'm gonna take Sword here. It's wheelie. And he goes down pretty easily here. Never mentioned it, you can press select to get rid of your ability, but we get Wheel Kirby here. This is actually kind of one of my favorite abilities, and one that I'm kind of sad they don't use that often. I think they brought it back for the 3DS games, and even then it hasn't been seen since then, and that was it for this level. I thought this level was way longer than that. What the heck? I know some of these levels are insanely short, but that felt short even for this game's standards. Yeah. I always remember as a kid, if I was like, it felt odd how, like, this bottom section gets opened up and then this, like, top section's gonna get opened up after the fact, but it is what it is, you know? You have Crane Fever again. That's probably not gonna work, but I'm gonna try for this big guy again. Okay, I guess that somehow worked anyway. I feel like if you see it grab in a certain way, then it usually doesn't like to work as well, but that should work there. Yep, there's 4 lives. Best you can ever get on that. Once we see all the minigames, I might just point out where certain ones are in the world, because I'm not gonna need to go after Crane Fever every single time. This is a game I've played so many times, I could probably play most of this game in my sleep if I really wanted to. So, yeah. Ooh, this level. Shoot, I think there's a secret I don't know if I can get this or not. I want to say there's... I want to say you need, like, beam or something in order to get this here. You can't use an attack through that. I want to say you can get UFO through there, though. I'm going to check that in after this in a moment here. I always remember this level kind of giving me some grief when I was a kid because kind of this section here, I think, there's like some Bronto Burts here that always kind of like home in, and they're just kind of generally a nuisance to deal with here, and they respawn if you off-screen them by just a smidge too, so that's always fun when they do that, and glad to see there's nothing at all there. But then again, I also first played this at a really, really young age, though, too, so it makes sense why I found this kind of more annoying than normal there. And through here... Hey, you helped us earlier, what are you doing? Meet the Meta Knights! And you know what, screw it, I'm actually not... Or, I guess I will use sword for this, then. These guys are a mini-boss that pretty much shows up in pretty much every world from here on out. Okay, you know what? Screw using an ability for these. These guys can be annoying because they like to attack in a lot of groups here. And they have some pretty annoying attacks to deal with here. The best way to deal with them is just inhale them, though. Their attacks can be a little fast and erratic, but they're not that bad. Inhaling them gets rid of them usually pretty easily, so that's usually the best way to deal with those guys. I'm kind of surprised that worked as well as it did, not gonna lie. That's pretty much it for this level here, though. Not much else to this level here, or this world here, as far as I remember. We have another museum here, which is nice. We got laser or fire. I don't think we've seen laser yet. I meant to grab that, actually. Laser's a decent ability. It's as it implies, it just shoots a laser here, but it's pretty fast, all things considered, and has good range. It's probably one of the better range abilities in this game, so it's not too bad. This level's pretty neat. I like the aesthetic of it. It's not really something you see too often. These weird enemies. I don't know what this sprite is supposed to be. I think in the GBA version, these guys are like pigs or something, but I don't know how you get that from this sprite there, but oh well. Thankfully, Kirby can just kind of float and fly here, so it's no big, huge deal. We have another mini-boss here. This is actually the mini-boss I thought that was in the last stage here, but, or in the last, like, when we fought the wheelie, but this is Mr. TikTok, I believe is his name, and he's not too bad. If you don't use an ability, you have to inhale those, like, music notes there, but he's not too bad otherwise. When we beat him, though, we get the mic ability, which, this ability's interesting. We can use it 3 times, and it just annihilates enemies every time we use it, so that's neat. I didn't use it the last time there because I wanted to use laser to get a 1-up here. Very nice. And more laser guys tracking us here. This is also another optional area. This can kind of teach that laser can sort of ricochet off walls there. I'm not going to bother with that health there because I don't really need it, but yeah, it's something you'll definitely want to keep in mind because there are points in the game where you're going to need to know that laser can ricochet off certain things, so kind of keep that in mind. And that's it for this level here. Alright, there should only be one more level left and then the boss fight. But first, we have a new thing opened up here. This is the arena. 2 fighters go in, but only one will leave. You can get a tomato and an ability for a win. These are pretty much like mid-boss rematches that we can do here, and these are pretty important because a lot of the time certain abilities can only be gotten from mini-bosses, and some of these will actually be very important for later on in the game. So I'd keep that in mind for later on here. Anyways, we got Stage 5 here. It's probably a dumb thing to jump into that, but that's just me kind of running through that. I don't know if I'd advise running that fast there, but oh hey, wheel. Because I inhaled 2 enemies at once there, I actually get a mix here. What will I get? High jump! Not supposed to have this ability this early, even though it's not much later on in the game when we get to see that. I'll worry about high jump later on though, because I wanted to grab wheel for this room here. If I can not bonk myself off random stuff here. Wheel's a little unorthodox. Like, something like this here at full speed, it can run over a gap like that, but it does take a little bit to kind of stop, and it does, like, kind of lose some of its invincibility frames when it's trying to turn around, so it's a little bit unorthodox in a way, but it's not a terrible ability. Probably not great for a room like this here, but I always thought so many of these here looked like doors that would house a secret, but well, actually this one might. Yeah, okay, this does in fact house a secret. This, I don't remember this room at all, actually, to tell you the truth. And, you know, I'll take it, I guess. Probably not useful, but I probably knew about it and then just ignored it because, again, like, I don't think I've actually played this game since I did a speedrun for it for Stacking Marathon back in 2021. Also, speaking of, remember when I said we weren't going to be able to use high jump yet? Well, I was only a few screens away from when it was actually introduced. High jump's a pretty cool ability, but yeah, I don't think I've actually played this game since my marathon I did for Stacking Marathon, or my run I did for that back in 2021, I want to say it was. Yeah, 21. That was fun. That was fun. The VOD for that's still on YouTube somewhere and whatnot. I'll throw a link up on a card there to go watch that. Anyways, we got a boss fight, and I'm actually gonna go in with this with no ability here, because why not? This is Paint Roller. This fight's actually kind of interesting. He will run to one of these 4 paintings here, draw a design here, and we got to inhale it and shoot it back at him there. This fight can actually be a little tricky. I find Paint Roller's movements to be a little bit erratic in a way. Sometimes he can start moving and move in directions that are a little bit like that there, you know. I didn't really have much I could control over that. Sometimes it can be hard getting out of the way to dodge certain attacks of his. There's a certain attack I want to see if I can pull off here, because you'll understand what I mean whenever you see it there. A lot of his abilities can actually give certain abilities here. Okay, this is the one that I want to see if I can finish this off here in a certain way. Stand in the center of the room here. Ah, I think I messed that up there. If you defeat him and then grab the warp star there, there is kind of a glitch you can do that will, like, how should I describe it? There's a glitch that you can do, basically, that will defeat him, and you'll basically be able to keep the microphone ability after the fact. But yeah, besides that, though, this is Butter Buildings. This is the 3rd world. I will see you guys next time for the start of this world, and yeah, next time, well, Butter Buildings. If you like this one, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment. I really appreciate it. I've been Masterstarman, and I'll see you guys next time. Have yourselves a great day, and peace out.